Nochola the Drawer, an artist and adventurer from the UK. Let's get creative. Hello friends, welcome back, or hello if this is your first time. I am Nochola the Drawer and I am here today with a video about creating your creative goals for 2022. I decided to make this video because I feel like last year I didn't reach the goals that I wanted to, and I feel like part of that is you have to write them down, you have to put them out there to make them happen. So I've got my diary 2022. Every year I start with a diary. I end up doing way more than I think. Every year that I don't get a diary at the beginning, I fall a bit flat. I decided to create a list of 22 goals for 2022, and I think you should do the same. So I'll share with you mine, and I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe because I will be doing videos throughout the year on updates, where I'm getting with these goals, what plans I have in place to get there, if I've managed to achieve any of them, and how I did it. So you can do it too. Let's start with number one. This one is, I want to say, the easiest. I have been working on a Wacom tablet since 2011. So here is my Wacom, my bamboo. This is what I draw with, and so I want to aim to nail using the iPad. So this is my first iPad. I have the Apple Pencil, which is going to be amazing compared to the Wacom tablet that I've been using, and I really want to master using that for my design practice and my illustrations. So that's number one. Number two is my goal is to do a mural a month for the whole year. So that's 12 murals throughout the whole year. Last year I didn't reach as many as I wanted to, and I know that part of that is you have to put in the huge legwork and effort to get in front of people for murals. So I'm already on track. I have my first mural I'll be installing tomorrow, so that will be my January mural, and then I've got to make sure that I set up all the murals for throughout the year so that I manage to do 12. So by this time next year I'll have done at least 12 murals, one a month. Goal number three is I want to do a big community project, including workshops. So I really want to work with local communities and have them use their creative practice as well. So run a workshop with them to get their imagination and ideas flowing to create a huge community project. Number four is to get illustrations in a magazine. I have not been in a magazine before, apart from like the booklets that come with the project you've already done. So like, I have one somewhere. The Big Trunk Trail, they put together a catalogue of all of the elephants that we painted, and I'm in that, but I would like one of my illustrations to be in a magazine. I have already been emailing magazines, but I haven't got any luck yet, so let's see. Number five is I want to paint a basketball court. I am a huge fan of public artwork, obviously with murals, but also I love sport. I love being active, encouraging other people, and just enjoy moving. So if you've seen my Red January illustrations, you'll see how passionate I am about that. And I really think it would be amazing to transform a basketball court, to try and get more people out onto the basketball court, to use it, meet friends, get active and enjoy sport. I did basketball when I was really small, probably 10 or something, and I am really small anyway. I'm super short. Basketball is not it's not my strongest sport. I'm not very good at throwing, but I loved it. I was on the county team and I was always benched. I never got put on the actual team, but I went to all the practices. I loved it. I loved running with the ball, and I think for me, part of it is I love taking part in the sport. It wasn't about being the best. So having a transformed, colourful, creative basketball court to encourage people to just enjoy it and play, I think that'd be fabulous. Plus, there is a basketball court in my town that I go past all the time. Nobody uses it and it's grey and boring. Number 6 is do more illustrations. So I really want to improve my illustrations so that obviously I can get in a magazine. But I really want to illustrate more of the stories that I want to share, that I think are important, and yeah, more illustrations. And part of that is I want to start the Diary of a Creative Adventure. So this is an idea that I've had for a little while, that I would really like to use my illustrations to share some of the adventures that I've been on. I really believe in leading by example, and for me, I really want to encourage women to travel, to adventure, to make new friends with other women, to find communities of women that they want to be a part of. And I have found that by traveling and exploring and living in different countries, I've had so many experiences where I've made best friends with someone that I didn't know before who lives on the other side of the world, and adventured and explored together. And so there's so many illustrations that I could do, and I wanted it under one umbrella project. So the Diary of a Creative Adventure, I want to start that this year. Number 7, as a creative, it's always important to experiment. I really want to experiment with sculpture or something new, just to see how my style and work goes into a different avenue that could also be another public artwork. I really want to push more into the public artwork world, and so I'm interested in experimenting with sculpture or architecture or something new. And I always think it's important to start something new because it pushes you, challenges you, and makes you think of things from different perspectives. Number 8 is network more. The value of connections is so big in the creative industry, but in life as well. The more connections you have, the more people that you meet that are good connections, where you actually have similar values or share similar passions, really can take you to other places. So like being part of a creative network online last year got me to meet a woman that works at a gallery, which my work ended up as one of their exhibitions. So the value of connections is huge. So I really want to grow my creative network. 9, this one I feel like a lot of creatives and artists find difficult, or it could be anyone might find this difficult, but really introducing yourself and sharing what you do and let people know. So it's meet more people and introduce myself as a mural artist and illustrator really confidently, and share with them some of the projects I've done. So you never know who you're going to meet. It could be someone at the supermarket that just so happens to need a mural artist or an illustrator. So that's what my number 9 is, to really share what I do with others. It could be anyone, because you never know what connection you will have with them. Number 10 is to get back in touch with people that didn't get back in touch with me. Sometimes I think when we put ourselves out there and then people don't respond, or you might send a couple more emails and nobody responds, you think they're not interested. But you actually never know. By reintroducing, maybe they're in a different position to what they were last year when you originally got in touch, and they might be looking for something. I think sometimes we create a story in our head like, oh no, they don't want to work with me, or they don't have the funds to work with me, or they're not, I don't know, we just make up stories. So I think get in touch with them again and put yourself out there, because there was a reason why you reached out and connected in the first place, and maybe they weren't in the position to work with you that year, but you never know this year. Number 11 is share more women's adventure stories. So, I'm a creative and an adventurer, but I really want to share other women's adventure stories through illustration. So I know lots of amazing women that have been on amazing adventures, and I'd love to put that into a visual way that's obviously not their photos or videos, but a visual story in an illustration. So I have started by interviewing one of my friends, and I just have to put that into a illustration, and I want to meet more women and share their adventure stories. You know, for me, it's really about showing that anyone can do it. You just have to be brave and go after what it is you want to go after and create your own adventures. And they come in all different forms. So I really want to illustrate more women's stories. On the same active line, number 12 is I really want to design a running race t-shirt and medal, or either or. I collect medals for when I do races, and I love seeing all the different styles of medals, all the different designs, whether it's wood, metal, the way that they've, you know, not just stuck to the round circle, gold. Like, they really created a visual story with the medal, and the same with the t-shirt. The race I just did in Italy, in Sorrento, I love they had an illustration on the bottom of the t-shirt as well. So, you know, it's not just the writing of the race, it's illustrating what the story of the race is. And it was a race along the cliffs with a view of the sea, so there's this amazing illustration for that on the t-shirt. So I'd really like to illustrate a race t-shirt. As you've probably seen the theme of this, I love to travel and I love being active. So again, this one is along those lines. I really want my work to be in those places. So number 13 is to get my work on public transport. I love public transport because you have connections with other people, you can look out the window, so whether that's a bus, a train, a tube, or an aeroplane. I created the aeroplane elephant for Luton, and I love that, and it was all women in the windows of the plane, so it was encouraging more women to travel and enjoy the journey however you get there. So I really want my artwork to be in more public transport places, whether that's transforming a wraparound bus or on the platform of a metro or a train, or in an airport. I've spent a lot of time in airports over the years going on, you know, they're the places where adventures start. So like when I moved to Australia, I went from an airport to an airport, and like some of those places can be a bit boring and clinical, and then other airports are magical. Like I went to one in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, and there was a rainforest in the airport. But I just really want to add some artwork to a public transport area, because sometimes I think people get in the zone of travel and then they're thinking about all the admin side, but then to see a bright, bold, exciting artwork can brighten their day and enhance their journey. Now, number 14, I need your help with, because you're here watching me on YouTube. I want to grow YouTube. I know I should put a number on that. I started the channel last year, and I knew that I had aims that I wanted to get across my creative journey. My aim is to inspire and empower you to start your own creative journey, grow your own creative business, or be more creative with your life. So I really want to invest a bit more time into creating these videos and a community here on YouTube, so that I can grow the channel and manage to do more with it, connect with more people, and empower you to get creative and be creative with your journey, whether that's in business, adventure, or just everyday life. And so some of the ways I want to do that is, like with these videos, more kind of talking, being really open about my creative journey. And I'm not here to teach you to draw. I want to encourage you to use your creative mind. And I really want to create more videos that do that. So the bigger the channel gets, the more subscribers, the more likes, comments, the more I can invest in the channel. 15, do more big project proposals. So this is kind of the bigger, reach out for the big projects, you know, there might be the projects that I think, oh, there's probably someone that's a bit more qualified than me, someone who has more experience in putting the proposal together. So whether that's with councils or with big businesses, but it's part of kind of something bigger than just me and the one business I'm creating a mural illustration for. I want it to be, you know, those pictures that you put in, that they do take a lot of time, and you don't know how many people you're against, but I want to do it anyway. I want to get in the practice of creating these big proposal pitches, because if you're not in it, you're not going to win it. 16 is being a mural festival this year. I've only ever done one mural festival, and that's in Liverpool. That's Contrast Mural Fest, and that was in 2020. So I really want to be part of one. I know they can be quite competitive to get into. There's a lot of pitching and submitting, and I did last year and I didn't get any of them, but it doesn't mean I won't this year. So I'm gonna make sure I pitch myself and put myself forward for mural festivals this year, because I really like to be one. I really like to be in one. Number 17 is paint more of the Part of Me series. Actually, this painting here is from that series. Part of Me series is, I've done 3 paintings so far, 2 really big ones, and then this one. You can actually see the process of them being painted. I'll put the link above. And Part of Me series was really trying to get across that you traveling to another place, immersing yourself in the culture, and getting to know a place deeply, you know, not just going there for a day or two, really changes your outlook and character and adds to your journey. And so I did a one for Capri, Florence. This is Chef Chouan in Morocco, and certain places along my travels or living in different places have had a bigger effect on me, and I really wanted to acknowledge that places can have an impact on you, and that's what the Part of Me project is. Number 18 is I want to create an outdoor mural trail. This is something that I've had on my mind for a while. It's, you know, not about just one mural here, one mural there. It's about having multiple murals in a certain area, and it could be collaborating with other artists, but I would really like to organize it. I like organising, I like bringing people together, and so by organising a mural trail, it would mean that I get to use those skills of bringing people together and collaborating and creating something bigger. And yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Number 19 is I want to try more animation. I did one animation in the beginning of December for Vlogmas, and you can see it here, and it was really fun. You know, it was a really simple one that I did, and I'm not saying I want to become an animator. I just really like to animate some of my illustrations. Movement is a really big part of the illustrations that I do. You know, whether it's running, any other sport, or just moving for joy, or the expression of a face. And I'd really like to learn how to do a bit more of animating my illustrations, so that it's something a bit different, but still along the lines of what I'm already doing. So it's just knowing how to create the movement. Number 20 is collaborate with more artists. I love it when styles come together. I love it when people come together, and when you collaborate with another artist, you have a different point of view of how maybe your work could work with theirs. And I love the energy of 2 creatives together. So I really want to collaborate with more artists this year. Number 21 is I want to discover more amazing communities. A lot of my work is inspired by communities, people that come together with a common interest and create something or do something, or they are something. So like I was part of the Through Soldiers' Eyes exhibition, military community. When I created the Tough Girl mural, that was an female adventure community. I really want to discover more communities and work with them in a creative way. And number 22 is to do some live streaming. I feel like I don't really 100% know the live streaming world in the creative industry. I did a series of Insta Lives last year and the year before, last year. And I really like live conversations. I really like being in front of people and thinking on your feet rather than pre-recorded things. So I just really want to think about how I could do something live streaming and what audience is there and what they're interested in. It's something that I don't really know about. So I would love to do some more live streaming, because then you get that live interaction with people, even if they're not in the same room as you. And I love live interaction. So they are my 22 goals of 2022. 22 creative goals. I have other personal goals, but they're the creative ones that I'm going to be working towards, and I'm going to be sharing my journey with you on this channel, how I'm going to try and make steps towards making these happen. With goals, you have to write them down, you have to share them with others, because if you share them with others, you're committing to yourself. It's like they're not just dreams, they're not just thoughts, they're not just ideas. It's going towards an action, a plan. Doing this video even helped me write them down. I've had a lot of these ideas along the way, and I've written them down in various notebooks, but I haven't written them down all in one place and really thought about them more. What I would say to you is, after this video, sit with a notebook and have a little think. Maybe you've got a notebook or in your phone notes from ideas along the way, but bring them all together and put them down on a piece of paper. Share that piece of paper with a friend, or do a video, or let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what your creative goals are. Why I think it's important is I think you have to aim big. I know I personally am someone who, if I aim realistically, I feel a bit flat. I feel a bit like, well, I could do that. But if I aim to things that people are like, how are you gonna do that? That's not possible, or that's impossible. I want to do things that maybe, you know, I know other people have done, but someone else who's in my circle might not know how to do that or believe it's possible. And I want to show them it is, then they go after their big goals. Why am I telling you all my goals when I could fall flat on my face and not achieve them? I watched a brilliant TED Talk, and I'll leave the link in the comments below, but it was about, you can't achieve your goals and dreams in isolation. You can't do it by yourself. You never know if you're going to speak to someone who has a connection that can help you to get to where you want to. So there might be someone watching this who is an organizer for running events, and then they might help me to become the designer, illustrator for their trail running t-shirt or medal. Or there could be someone who works for the government, for a county council. They want to bring a project into a public space on public transport, and they might think of me. So you never know the connection of the people that you talk to. So by voicing it out there, sharing your dreams and goals with a community of people that might be willing to help, that's why I'm sharing it with you. I hope this has inspired you to have a little think about what your goals are for the next year. I am realistic. Maybe I won't be able to achieve all of them, but I'm going to be putting in the steps and the actions into motion to go towards them goals and try and do them within the next year. And if not, I've already put them in motion, and it's going to happen at some point, because I'm committing to it, and I'm getting the ideas of what the next steps could be. And that's what a goal is. It's, you know, a big achievement, and breaking it down and what's the next step to get me closer to that. So I hope that you like this video. I hope that inspired you to dream big and explore your creativity. I hope it also draws you back to come here. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll try and do more of these kind of open chats about how I'm getting along, what actions I've put into place to try and move towards these goals, and if I've achieved any, coming up. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's a little bit different to some of the videos I've done before, but I really hope that you enjoy this one and we move forward together in working towards our creative goals, whether that's in the creative industry or being more creative with your everyday life. Let's grow together. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you for the next creative adventure.
Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell.